Ho ho! Check that out. That looks nice. I actually like the colour of this, you know, they're both red. In fact, you know what, let's stick this in here. And we'll see. Oh man, that looks professional. That looks too professional for this garage. Got the AFR gauge there. I will have the AFR gauge reading on this as well, but the thing is, I always tend to like to use a graph as well, so check that out. Happy with that. Yeah, I always like to have the proper sensor, the sensor display, just in case something goes wrong with wiring or whatever. I always like to take off the sensor one. And yeah, I'll just take boost off of the ECU, as that's getting it for the map sensor, which is going to be happy. So got the AFR gauge there. I will have the AFR gauge reading on this as well, but the thing is, I always tend to like to use a graph as well, so check that out. Happy with that. Yeah, I always like to have the proper sensor, the sensor display, just in case something goes wrong with wiring or whatever. I always like to take off the sensor one. And yeah, I'll just take boost off of the ECU, as that's getting it for the map sensor, which is going to be happy. So yeah, this is starting to look the part. So I'm happy with that. Now I just need to wire up the wideband and get it plumbed down into the car, and tidy up some of this shit and get ready. Give you a little secret. I think tomorrow I'm going to be taking this beast on the dyno, so. Right guys, that's pretty much all back together at that side. This is my CAN cable. I'll strip this back and put it into the ECU. For some reason though, the LD Performance wideband has already been a bit of a cunt, so if that fucks up, I'll be raging. I've just had no luck recently. Yeah, so down here, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, on the Honda board itself, it has CAN high and low, and I'll use that plug there and the outputs and just connect it up to the cable coming from the dash. I have to put a resistor in parallel with it as well. There you go guys, I've soldered and crimped this resistor in there. That's 120 ohms resistor just for the CAN, and I've also put labels on for CAN high and low. Oh yeah, looking half professional. Right, we're getting places. That's the CAN all connected up. I don't know if it's going to work yet because I need to get it started again, because I'm not producing enough power to get the Pi running. So my plan is now I'm going to take this dump valve, I'm going to fit it on here, and yeah, you want to close your eyes because this is gonna be a little bit rough. I say rough, it's not really. I'm just going to drill into this intercooler here. I'm going to hoover out all the flakes when I'm done, and yeah, that dump valve will sit there. Yeah, first things first, hole is drilled, and I'm going to put this gasket down here and mark up the holes I need to for drilling that. You might think how I'm going to secure it down, but I'll just use a couple of M6 bolts, and it's quite thick, you know, 8mm thick, that cast, so that'll be enough to hold in a blow off valve. And also, this is one of them moments, do not tell my missus I've got her hoover in the garage, because she will kick arse. Yeah. I'm going to use this hoover to soak out all the swarf. If there's any left over, don't give a fuck, it can go through the engine if it wants. Simple yet effective. This is the techniques we need to use in modern society to provide such intelligence and duress upon installing the BOV. It's gonna work a treat. Psh, psh, psh. Nice. Right, I think we're going to take this thing out for a run. It's quite late, it's like 11:30. Everyone's sleeping. But if we're quick, we can travel faster than sound. Right guys, you won't be able to see shit. But yeah, I've not set up the gauges yet. I'm just taking it out. For some reason that LD performance is stuck at 9.3. I don't know if this is just like a long warm-up thing for or something, but yeah, it's not budget, so I'm not really sure what the crack is there. Right guys, so I made it to a local supermarket, and yeah, there's a couple of issues. My dump valve doesn't work. I think the spring must be too tight. Loosened off as much as it can go, but it's maybe it's maybe just a little bit too tight, so I'll probably grind some meat off the spring or something like that, try and take some of the preload off. My AFR gauge ain't working. I was being hopeful as well that the AFR would maybe work digitally on the ECU, but no. I got the wideband working. Well, doing some pulls, and I'm hitting quite bad boost creep, so I think it's time I get myself a larger wastegate, or maybe change the placement. It's up around about 7,900 it starts to creep, from 11 to it's hitting boost cut at 14, so yeah, we're getting some bad creep. I'll do a pull so you can see what's happening. Just set it away in sort of third gear and we'll see where we're at. Got a bit of an issue. I'll need to sort that out. That's with the duty right down. So duty is around about 40%, and it's creeping from 8 psi up to 14. So yeah, that's just too much. Oh yes, she's back home. Look at that, no smoky turbo anymore. So yes, I tell you what, that new turbo, like, she's laggy, she's proper laggy, probably 4.5, 5k before she's at full boost, around about 11 psi. But holy shit, what a torque it comes with it. It's like noticeably torquier and noticeably more powerful. I'm actually really questioning, like, it could be over 500 horse now, which I don't want. But yeah guys, we're getting somewhere. You know, it wasn't all doom and gloom. It was for a while, but we got past that sticky area. I got the AFR working and stuff like that, so I'm not going to go on the dyno it tomorrow. There's no point. It'd be awesome to see the numbers. I would love to see the numbers, because yeah, it's stupid quick, but like I say, it's creeping so bad. Like, the numbers on the dyno are just, if it is 500 horse, it'll be 500 horse at the very last couple of 100 RPM. So I'd rather sort the wastegate and have get my boost under control and then up the boost, so I've got a good mid range as well. So yeah, I think. Right guys, I thought I'd show you my map and what was happening there in that runs. So yeah, basically I was over boosting. I'll show you here how we look at that. This is basically my fueling map and stuff like that. If we're going to graph, I think this is probably one of the main ones. If we can find, we'll just select here. I've got the simple one here, which is TPS, RPM and map. I'll zoom in some so you can kind of see what's happening. Now, yeah, basically foot down here, 100% throttle. The car's starting to make boost, and this is at full boost here. So this is wastegate pressure, around about, it's like 8 psi. So yeah, normally, you know, you'll find as you're coming along here, revving up even higher, your boost will sort of stay around about that sort of pressure, maybe go up a psi or two. But at this point here, see, at this point here, between it's around about 6.6. So say 6.7, the boost starts creeping like bad, and it starts, you know, ramping up more and more and more. You know, at this point here, we're at 12 psi. You know, it's just too much. But this is, like I say, this is like, that's like in first or second gear, so there's not a lot of load on there. So you'll find this one here, this will maybe have a little bit more load on it. So again, sort of around about here, 4,700 RPM, it's at wastegate pressure. Yeah, it's laggy, but that's with quick spool and stuff off. I was just wanting to test the wastegate pressure on this one, so I'm not tuning to try and get it to spool any faster. The boost is sort of relatively stable, and again, it just starts to pick up here again. So at this point here, you know, we're at 13.4 psi, and I'm hitting a boost cut at this point here. It's 7.6, so I've still got another 1,000 RPMs to go, and it's already hitting boost cut. So maybe if I zoom out a wee bit, you can kind of see, you know, the shape of the curve. You know, this green curve here is coming along, and then it just starts increasing with revs, and that's just simply because the gas can't flow out of the exhaust. So I'll open up, see if I've got another log here as well for you. So the data log load. There's a few of these. I'm just showing these quickly because the battery's about to die on this laptop and I lost my charger. So yeah, again, you can see at this point here, I'll zoom in slightly, zoom in a bit more. Again, low loads, so basically foot down, 100% throttle, it's the pink one. Starts spooling as it's revving up, it's all okay, it's at full boost, everything's happy, and then around about this point here, 6,000, it starts to creep. So we're now at 10 psi instead of 8 psi. It should be 8, it's at 10. Keeps on climbing, you know, that's at 11 psi, 12 psi, 13 psi, and yeah, 14 psi, that's where I got my boost cut. So yeah, it's creeping from 8 psi to 14 psi within, you know, 1,000 RPM. So if I was to add another 1,000 RPM in that, we're going to be pretty much doubling that boost pressure. It just gets worse and worse. So I thought, you know, before going any further, we'll sort this issue out, and we can then start mapping it and doing more track stuff. The reason it's doing it is because this bigger turbo is flowing a lot more air, it's flowing a lot more CFM, and the wastegate can't get rid of the exhaust gases. So all it basically does is the exhaust gases then spin through the turbo, which increases turbo speed and produces more boost. That's just as simple as it is. So to get around this, the best thing and the easiest thing for me to do is put a bigger wastegate on. So yeah, as a general rule of thumb, the higher boost you want to run, the smaller the wastegate. It's all to do with controllability and range of controllability. If you have a low pressure system, like you want to run a low boost, you want a big wastegate to try and get rid of that air. If you want to run higher boost, you run a smaller wastegate to try and stop some of that escaping. You want to have a good control. 44mm gate would probably be ideal for about 30 GT3076 like I did have. I had no creep with that, but this new, you know, once you're over 60mm of a compressor wheel, it's obviously an issue, and I've seen on the internet it is an issue where the K20s just flow that much air. You need to get rid of it somehow. Generally it's down to a bad wastegate placement. If your wastegate placement is not going to flow off the collector, you're going to start creeping. You know, the volume and speed going past the actual exit of the wastegate isn't enough to vent off. So this here, 60mm, absolutely massive. This is going to be my new wastegate tubing. So anyway, I'm yapping on again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, wasn't too exciting. Another problem, a little teething problem. We'll get through it, there's no issues. And soon we'll be kicking this thing's head in. Right guys, thanks for watching and we'll catch you next vid. Cheerio.